There are a number of reasons people make videos. But when we get talking about videos that are explaining something technical in a particular field, whether it's strictly speaking scientific or not, it seems to me there are two big categories, there may be others, for making the videos. One is to popularize something that's already understood. In other words, we have an idea and we want other people to be able to internalize it so they can say, okay, yes, this is something we understand. Now that doesn't mean they're going to be able to go out and practice that field of technology or whatever, but that they're going to have some understanding of it that they didn't have before. The other type of video is going to be one that is trying to actually explain a new idea or make a proof of an idea or a proposal for an idea, where in fact the video does contain either the proof or the seeds of the proof necessary for the idea. And I think we have to look at these videos with different levels of scrutiny and skepticism. In other words, if someone was going to explain the uniform law of gravitation and the inverse square law, and wanted to talk about, as I saw in one video in high school, about butter guns and how butter disperses itself from sort of an explosion, that's one thing. But if we're trying to prove something, we have to come up with something more. And I don't intend to get burdened down in any discussion of proof. What we have to decide, first of all, is what type of video someone is trying to make. And sometimes it's difficult. The video I want to think about in this case is one that was made by Stefbot, which I cannot find at the moment, and I saw some time back, but frankly I do think I remember enough to make a response to it. And I will perhaps not use some of the precise words that he used, but I think the general thrust of what I'm going to say is fairly accurate. Stefbot made a video saying why we should be glad that gas prices are rising. Now, it could be either type of video here, or maybe there are other classifications that I'm not thinking of, but is he trying to popularize something that's already understood by economists? My guess is no, because I hadn't heard that idea before. So I'm left with the idea that his video is supposed to be an explanation or a proof or something more substantial than popularizing someone else's ideas. I think they're his ideas, and I think he wants to take credit for them. And if he's not, he certainly has given no evidence that they come from other people or that anybody else should be given credit for it. So I think he is making the type of video where he has come up with an idea that he wants credit for, that this video is supposed to be persuasive of the idea, such that it includes most of the ideas, or the seeds of at least the fuller proof in it. Now, one immediate flaw I noticed in his explanation is that he was explaining thus and so the Indians buying the fuel. Just to give you a summary, which probably isn't a very good one, but I'll try, that when we're paying more gas for gasoline in the United States, there are other people who are willing to outbid us for it on the world market because they can use it to a greater economic advantage, probably would be called something like increasing marginal utility or something, my phrase, than we would be able to. And because they are doing that, they're probably making goods more efficiently, which result in an overall increase in competition and decrease in prices. Now, the one thing that he said in that explanation, as he was giving laptops as an example, was that he did use at least once the phrase, all else being equal. Well, there's an inherent contradiction there, because the premise of his video is he is describing the real world, But he is hypothesizing that all else is equal, with no proof for that, and no evidence that it's the case, and no presentation of statistics or anything else in his presentation to show that what he is describing is actually occurring. Now, his all else being equal, the things that he is proposing is that the Indians are using them to make laptops that will go, as I think he said, primarily to North America and Europe. And if that is true, that is certainly something that needs to be acknowledged as a special case, because he's not saying, I don't think he's saying, that we should be glad that why prices going up are good for us on this particular date in history. I think he's actually trying to make it as a general rule. That's what it sounds like to me. It's not clear at all.